Hello, my name is Mark Davis. I'm a member of the St. Bart's Parish and the project manager for the campus renovations. I am pleased to present this look at the concept plans for the sanctuary renovation. As announced 2 weeks ago, we have received our conditional use permit approval and conceptual approvals from the City of Poway necessary for our entire Honor Faith Build Future projects. This summer, we will proceed with the planned changes to the sanctuary and other Phase 2 and 3A plan projects, as described in the last printed project update. Of course, all work is contingent upon the limitations that may be imposed by the COVID-19 response. We will start by looking at the floor plan of the sanctuary as it will appear when the work is completed later this year. The seating arrangement shows the setup for typical worship services. In a minute, we will look at a 3D rendering of this space. The most visible change from the current configuration is replacing pews with chairs. On the main floor, the chairs will be set in an arc with multiple aisles to improve access. Approximately 260 chairs will fit in this configuration with an additional set of pews in the back. The altar area and the platform, called a chancel, will be enlarged forward to seat the choir, piano, and organ along with the altar and ambo. The chancel will be the same height as it is now, with a ramp added on the right side to provide required ADA access. The chancel area beyond the dotted line is expanded area. The extended side areas to the left and the ramp area to the right can be converted to performance area to accommodate larger choir and orchestra layouts. We anticipate that initially there will be no altar rail because it would be necessary to sanitize the rail after every person touches it. When allowable, portable altar rails will be provided along the curve of the steps at the front of the chancel. At the back of the sanctuary, the two existing sets of interior doors between the narthex and the worship space will be removed to create a more open space and improve traffic flow. When people enter from the outside, they will immediately be in the worship space with a minimal narthex area. A center entrance and aisle will be created by removing the wall in the back of the current choir area. The two remaining side walls are load-bearing structural walls and will remain as is. The two existing non-ADA compliant multi-user restrooms will be reconfigured to 3 single-user, all-gender, fully ADA compliant restrooms. 2 will be accessed from a vestibule opening to the courtyard patio and 1 from the narthex. All will exceed minimum area requirements to provide room and privacy for family use, wall-mounted changing stations, wheelchairs, walkers, and will accommodate caregiver assistance when needed. Courtyard access is protected under the cover of the existing roof overhang for the outside entrance to be the restrooms. The inside restroom door will be on the same side as the children's area so that it can be easily used by families. A water dispenser will be located in the narthex near the entrance from the courtyard patio. Looking at the floor plan, it may be hard to envision what the worship space will look like. So let's take a look at a 3D version of the final design created by our architect, John Pyjar. This is what you would see if you could stand above the current choir area looking toward the altar. Keep in mind that the colors of the floor and the chairs are for illustration purposes only. Final colors and chair selections will be made in the weeks ahead. The entire space is open, airy, and light. As shown in this view, you can see that the altar is located closer to the congregation. The current cross will be moved to the center of the chancel back wall above the relocated organ. A new altar, ambo, and baptismal font will be built as a part of this design. The chancel in this typical worship configuration will have seating for 54 choir members on risers and can be reconfigured for up to 90 choir members and 35 musicians. The organ is located at the very back with the piano placed between the organ and the altar. Vertical wood grill enclosures on either side of the cross will conceal the speakers that will provide sound to the choir and out to the congregation. The speakers above the old choir area will remain in place along with the decorative organ pipes and horns. There are no changes to the stained glass windows. The existing chandeliers will remain the same, with the exception of the center chandelier, which will be removed to provide an unobstructed view of the cross from the entrance to the center aisle. On the right side of the chancel is the access ramp I mentioned earlier. Wood box structures are located at both sides of the chancel. They are architectural support features for the ramp handrail and the steps handrail at the other side, and will also provide storage. These movable structures will not obstruct seated parishioners' sight lines to the altar, ambo, or the performing choir. The boxes enhance the symmetry and balance of the chancel, as well as frame the central axis of the cross, the altar, and the baptismal font. Let's go down to the seating level, as you will see the room when you enter. From the new center aisle, there is an unobstructed view of the entire room. Looking at the chancel, notice that the cross, altar, and new baptismal font located midway down the center aisle all align to create a single axis of the three spiritual elements. Turning to the back, you can see that the narthex is open to the exterior doors, providing unobstructed entrance and exit of the worship space. This will greatly improve access for people with disabilities. The Legacy baptismal font will be placed at the center of this back wall. This back wall is the existing and the proposed wall between the narthex and the restrooms. It is being reconstructed for maximum sound control performance. There will no longer be restroom doors on this wall. Looking at the worship space from the back corner, you can again feel the openness of the room. Notice that the box structures on the chancel stairs and ramps will be designed so they do not obstruct views to the altar, ambo, or choir from people seated in the chairs. The children's area will remain in the same location, set off with a different carpet and a single pew. Shelving can be placed at the right side for books and resource materials. The interior restroom entrance is on the narthex wall in the background of this image. We anticipate that social distancing and health concerns will continue for many months, if not years. The renovation will allow us to accommodate these health concerns and recommendations for safe gathering in the ways that the current configuration does not. By using chairs, we are able to increase social distancing if necessary by spacing them farther apart with wider aisles between the rows, effectively reducing the number of chairs by nearly 50%. With ushers greeting people outside and the removal of the interior doors, the open flow in the back of the room, we will have fewer points of contact that would have to be continually cleaned and disinfected. As mentioned earlier, there will be no altar rail at this time because it would be impossible to sanitize the rail after every person touches it. When allowable, portable altar rails will be provided along the curve of the steps to the chancel. The vestry has approved this plan, and we are in the process of completing detailed architectural plans, hiring contractors, and acquiring building permits. When completed, we will be able to configure the room as you see here for regular worship services and have flexibility for other uses. For example, this is how we might arrange the room for a large parish meal or banquet. Various table and chair arrangements can hold almost 300 people for a large event. Until the community center is built, we will have a storage container located outside, adjacent to the north side wall of the sacristy for storing tables and chairs that are not in use. As a part of this renovation, all donation plaques will be collected and maintained for future memorialization. We will also secure sample chairs so that everyone can give feedback on the various models. We will provide viewing of the chair options with various sized people, ages, and mobility online. I want to thank every member of the St. Bart's congregation for your thoughts, guidance, and prayers as we work through this process to plan for our sanctuary renovations that support our needs today and into the future. The Architectural Committee, the vestry, and the clergy are excited about our reinvigorated sanctuary, and we hope you are as well. We are certain that we will all be pleased with the results and look forward to worshiping in this beautiful space together.